Hi friends, welcome to Loved by Cacao. This is a home for all of us who love cacao, to share our stories, to elevate the voice of cacao through voices from all around the world. Here we will connect the threads of light that cacao is weaving between us, from heart to heart. Thank you for being here. You might like to make yourself a delicious cup of cacao to enjoy while you listen, to tune in with this sacred medicine. I am Pania, lover and facilitator of cacao, and I invite you to step in through the door to this cozy home. Come to sit on a cushion in this circle together, and may we allow ourselves to be here, to be loved by cacao. Welcome to episode 19, Cacao as a Portal to Prayer. I'm so happy to bring you this very sweet and touching conversation today with my friend Andrew Burrows, who tuned in all the way from Guatemala while he was at the very special and beloved Lake Atitlan. It was a true joy for me to sit with him for these 2 hours. The time flew by as we shared heartfelt stories about cacao, stories about Keith Wilson of Keith's Cacao, which was very touching for us both, and we tried to convey what we think Keith was up to and what we've both learned from him. We talked about Lake Atitlan and about Andrew's journey of weaving cacao into his life and his many creative endeavours. Andrew is like the embodiment of a multifaceted human being with many, many talents. He brings his magic out into the world through music, the healing arts, food creation, and of course, cacao. He is a ceremony facilitator and is also known as DJ Aguacate. He DJs ecstatic dance, often including cacao in these dances. He offers Thai massage, water massage, and also Kundalini Activation ceremonies. He is an amazing cook and makes raw vegan plant pies, or what we would call raw cakes in New Zealand. They're known as Andrew's plant pies, which he makes and sells in St. Marcos at Lake Atitlan, which he has called home for many years. I first met Andrew when I was on a retreat during my third visit to the lake in 2019, and thankfully he was our cook for that week. His food was absolutely divine, cooked with so much love and flavour, and I feel like I've been an Andrew fan ever since, following his journey via the internet and seeing all of the beautiful things he's been creating since. I was very happy when he finally released his vegan cookbook, in which he shared his top secret dragon sauce recipe, which I had been asking him for since that retreat in 2019. He told me at the time when I asked that I would have to wait for the cookbook. It was worth the wait, especially as it came with so many other amazing recipes. It's called Cosmic Cooking and Divine Dining, and I recommend it. Andrew also works with a beautiful cacao company, which is run by a women's collective in Guatemala. Their name is Rucuchuleo, and he is a distributor for them in Canada and the US. We spoke a little bit about them in the beginning, and I erroneously said that I hadn't tried their cacao before, but I've since realised that I did actually have it a few years ago. And I remember that it was beautifully chocolatey and it came in gorgeous rounds, and it feels so good drinking it knowing that it's created by a women's collective supporting women in Guatemala. So for this conversation we have our mugs of Guatemalan cacao, and Andrew gives us a truly gorgeous opening meditation, which I invite you to join in with if you can with your own cacao. It's really a wonderful invitation to come into the heart space and receive the stories and the insights that we weave here. I trust you'll enjoy the meditation and our conversation. And if you do, feel free to reach out to me or to Andrew and please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want to try the cacao that we were each drinking, you can either purchase Keith's cacao or contact Andrew if you'd like to try Rukushuleo cacao. All of our details to contact us are in the show notes. And dear cacao loving friends, here we go. Andrew, here we are together on Love by Cacao. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast.
You, such a pleasure and exactly on time. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly on time. Yeah, it feels like an achievement for us because we've been trying to make this happen for, I don't know, a couple of months, a few weeks at least. And
Yes,
life kept telling us, not yet, not yet. And now, yay, we're finally here.
we're finally here. Yeah, I was moving through a lot as well and different elements at play, relationships and rebirth processes. And these last couple of days, I feel like ah, I'm alive and well once more. So yeah,
Mm, mm.
I feel grateful.
Perfect. Yay. Well, I'm really excited for us to share in our beloved cacao and share in conversation. And I'm grateful that you could come in all the way from Guatemala, where this all began for me. So I want to hear how it began for you when we get into it. And um, yeah, it's just so nice to speak to someone who's actually at the lake. So we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, it's brewing. That's the thing. So much has been brewing specifically with me and with Cacao and my relationship with her, and just feeling also into
Mm,
Key and Rokushaleo ladies lately. I had a meeting with them recently, and so it feels like um, a lot in the pot.
mm. The ladies who work with a particular cacao, that's the
Yeah,
ladies you're referring to, yeah. Oh, okay. I want to
yes,
hear all about that.
yeah,
But first, shall we have a drop in with cacao together? And
uh,
I'm going to put a rose petal. I have a rose petal here because I know that rose is a special energy for you. So I'm going to bring in the rose petals and pop it on my cacao.
nice.
And if you would like to give us a little cacao meditation to
Yeah,
connect and begin our journey together.
amazing. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to invite everyone listening and tuning in, watching, feeling, receiving to, yeah, bring your cup of cacao up into your heart and just close the eyes. And if you're receiving this without a physical cup of cacao, I invite you to bring your palms over top of your heart and just feel her and her warmth along the chest, a little bit to the left. Oh, just for a moment, finding your perfect, most comfortable, and most soothing, most nourishing, most soft position for the body. Just allowing all previous moments to gently soften and dissolve, and allowing also all future moments, predictions, projections to just melt. As we all meet in the very center of this present moment right here as it is, perfect and complete. Hmm. Invite you to receive life with the deepest breath in yet of your day through the nose. Inhale and exhale. Receiving an even deeper breath in, growing a little bit taller. Ah, and this time, an even deeper breath in through the nose, holding at the top. Sipping in a little bit more air through your lips. And release. letting all of you come online and all of you arrive into this beautiful vessel, this beautiful body that you've been gifted, this beautiful body that is working together, all parts and pieces, in a gorgeous orchestra, an incredible symphony of being. Just feeling into your body breathing, your heart beating, and the blood passing through the veins, all the little textures and micro movements of the body and the organs and all the systems, again, in perfect harmony, naturally regulating and finding homeostasis and softness and deep peace. Just feel this peace surround you. You feel this peace inside of you. This peace that is you. It's such a gift to come into stillness altogether, especially now in these incredibly dynamic and transformational times on Earth. Just to be swept into the vastness of creation and the gentleness of life, the simplicity, where all lies and where all answers are, and all secrets bubble up from a space of intuition, a space of deep knowing, a space of this one universal heart of which we are all a part. In this place, we also so warmly and so gratefully welcome the spirit of Cacao to be with us, right into this moment with us, into our hearts, all through our bodies. Just taking just a moment to sense and visualize and feel all of this, yeah, this golden chain, this lineage, this this unfolding that allowed for this cacao to be here with us into our cups, onto our chest in real time, right here. All the beautiful trees and the farmers of these trees and the fertile soils, all the bugs in these soils, and all the beautiful beings and the farmers who are harvesting these pods, all the mamitas around the world who are, yeah, collecting and fermenting and roasting and peeling and processing and shipping these beans and these blocks and these powders in through this beautiful global grid of pure light. Allow this moment to be as it is with this spirit, with this medicine, with this mother, with this sister, with this aunt, with this abuela, this teacher, this master plant, this ally, this gorgeous grandmother. Just praying in this moment into all the paths of all those hands involved in this process, and a lot of light and a lot of health and a lot of gratitude. And may all these beings be well and healthy and nourished and fed in many ways on all levels. We so warmly receive as life provides again and again this beautiful medicine, this medicine of presence and of, yeah, chocolate in her most raw form, her original form. May we remember the roots as we connect to ours and our own hearts and our own intentions for being here in this life, and being a voice and a vessel of this specific plant. Mm. The sweet teacher would say this is the food of the gods and the food for the shift. So may you feel your internal waters shift as your heart blooms open like a lotus right here. So just offer from the overflow of your heart into your cup your gratitude. You can bring cacao up to your nose to receive a whiff of her sweet aroma. In this moment, I invite you to just whisper gently, as though into an ear of a lover, your wish or your secret or your dedication, your offering, something, perhaps an intention that you've been watering in your life so far, a vision that you see and wish to have sense and create into being. Just whispering these prayers into this medicine. And then when the Spirit calls, I invite you to translate this prayer, this offering, into a single seed word, single prayer, syllable that you feel encapsulates, yeah, this wish, this creation. And when you receive this word, just begin to visualize it all around you, all around your field, all around your body, the space you find yourself in, also in your own palms, in your own mind, in your own heart, in your cacao, all together. And we'll do this all together. We'll breathe in and then we'll blow this prayer into our cup of cacao right before us all together. So take a deep breath in and blow, offer. Lord Spirit, hear our prayers. May we be vessels and voices for you, ultimately, essentially, consistently, and unapologetically. May the way be open for us all to flow in great harmony together on this planet as we, yeah, do our part in this beautiful global awakening that very much involves the plants, the plant kingdom, and this beautiful spirit that has found us again and again right here and now. May we sip together in reverence and in remembrance of this. Mm. Mm. So good. Mine tastes like cake.
Cake. Nice.
Oh.
Oh, that
Mm.
was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank,
Thank you.
thank you. Wow.
Wow, that really, really brought me right
Mm.
into my cup almost. Like I was in the cacao.
It's going in. I think there's actually
Gorgeous.
spas where you can like bathe. It's like not a mud spa, but a cacao spa where you go in.
Can you
I'm ready.
imagine? Oh my gosh, I would love that. A whole bath of cacao.
Yes, or like when you get the scrub, the cacao scrub, and then I think I saw this in Mexico where you can get like the pod rolled on you or something. I
Mm.
didn't do it. I think I'm about to.
Like a
Yeah,
cacao pod massage.
yes. Like they
Wow.
do normal massage, but then I think there's like a cacao scrub as well, maybe some cacao butter as well, and then
Mm.
I think they pull the pod on you.
And
I'm
then you
open.
become the cacao cake.
100%. I'm ready.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Oh,
You probably already are part cacao, I think, with your life and the way that you live and where you live. And but before we get into you, I feel like I have tears in my eyes from the laughing. I love it. Before we get into that, just because there's so much of your story I want to hear, but can you share with us what you're
I
drinking? And I will do the same.
will. I'm drinking cacao with. So this cacao. I ran out of Keats. I had my last little bit this morning, so I'm gonna have to go buy some.
Mm.
But I am drinking Rukushuleo. Do I have a sticker nearby? I don't. Rukushuleo. It's a by and women's collective. Maybe you met them, I think.
I don't think I met them, but I've definitely seen a lot of pictures and videos of them, and I've seen you sharing their cacao. Yeah. I think that might have started up just after I left the lake, or I didn't hear about it last time I was there. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it started at the end of 2019, early 2020.
Hmm.
Yes. So them, I've been yeah working with them since then, since end of 2019, early 2020, I believe.
Beautiful.
And yeah, they're amazing. They just sit in their portal all day. It's at this hotel called Bosque Encantado, which means enchanted forest. And
Mm.
the name of their country is Rocuchaleo, which translates in Spanish from Cacao, their native tongue here, to Corazón de la Tierra, which means in English the heart of the earth. So that's
I wondered. Okay, beautiful. Wow.
yes.
Because I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it. It looks different. Can you say it one more time?
Yes, it's Rokush Uleo.
Rukush or Leo? Okay.
Rokush Uleo. Yes.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah. And it
So,
means like I believe Rukush means like the heart of. So when they're in their fire ceremonies, I often hear like Rukush and then something else. Rukush Uleo, like heart of the earth,
mm,
heart of the sky, heart of the life or something. I don't know. Yeah, but this is yeah, Rukush Uleo, heart of the earth, corazón de la tierra.
beautiful. Well, I haven't had the honor of trying their cacao yet, but I hope to get back to the lake at some point, and then I will.
It's
So,
incredible. I tried. I think I counted a couple years ago. There's at least 15 different cacao companies on the lake alone, and I've
wow.
tried most of them. And this is like this, and then Keith's for me is like run like top. Like they share top number one.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we all have
Okay.
our favorites, don't we? And
Yeah.
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 Um, that's a bit like me. I can't just have one favorite, but I'm a bit like that with Kess and then cacao drinking chocolate, Mackenzie's cacao.
Hmm.
Um,
That's in New Zealand or in Australia?
no, she actually it's all over, but she lives in Maui mainly. She used to live in Australia, but
That was it.
her cacao is from Guatemala, Peru, Colombia. Yeah,
Okay.
so she has different ones. Mm.
Beautiful. Amazing.
But anyway, okay, so you have that one with what have you mixed with it today? Anything
Okay.
apart from water?
Yes, many things. I really
Oh,
go for it. I've done my time drinking cacao with water on Keith's porch. So we'll talk about Keith, but yeah, he would just pass out the cacao. It'd be like hot water, chuck some like bricks of the chocolate in it and mix it with a spoon. So it's like the most grittiest, sandiest, like so unpleasant, but so charming. And then he passes around the panela, like the local sugar made of molasses and a bit of, I think, salt sometimes, and then the cayenne or the chili. So, but yeah, I did my time. So now I have a Vitamix and I blend it with nut butter. I have four nut butters that I choose from downstairs.
oh my gosh.
A couple, but I do lately
Mm.
peanut butter, cashew butter, macadamia cream, or tahini, and sometimes a combination of the two. Today we have cashew butter, and we have a bit of cinnamon, the last of my cardamom powder, and sea salt.
Wow, beautiful.
Nice. What? Yeah.
I have Keith's cacao. I had to today, of
Ooh,
course, because for me
yes.
that's where it all started, and because you're at the lake where I met Keith and where I met you,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I have Keith's with what did I put in there? Cinnamon,
Huh.
of course. My go-to is cinnamon and honey with a tiny pinch of salt, and so I
Yes,
did
honey.
that. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and water. I often don't have honey these days, because I find sometimes the honey gives me too much of a sugar spike, or I just want to sit with the pure bitterness of the cacao. But I felt
Yeah.
like having honey this time. And I
Yes.
also had this really beautiful herb and mushroom blend for women. I can't remember the name right now, but I added some of that, and it makes it a little bit more creamy, I noticed too.
Oh la la.
And then the beautiful rose petals that I put on top. So, yeah, which I harvested myself. So, yeah, and dried.
Well,
Mm.
beautiful. Do you ever make a powder with them and then put that in the cacao?
Mm.
I used to put rose powder in it from this company Anima Mundi, and that was like so good.
Oh, I bet it was. I have never tried rose powder. Could you taste it?
Yeah, like
Mm.
if you put a little bit, not so much, but if you put a little bit on top and or quite a bit like inside, like a couple teaspoons, I would say, then it's pretty powerful. Yeah.
Beautiful. I one thing I love about the putting the rose petals on top is you can smell it when you bring your nose down to the cup. It's like that combination of rose and cacao scent coming up. It's just so good.
So divine. So divine. I love it. I didn't put any on today, but this is my second cacao today, and I had roses this morning. Yes.
Oh, nice. It's my second as well. And I've made it quite strong. I'm like, oh gosh,
Going in.
I didn't realize how strong.
Oh, that reminds me of yeah, Keith's in his ceremonies. It'd be pretty strong his
hmm
dosage, and then towards the end, like not even the end, it depends. They go forever, but around like hour six, this one of the local men he would come around with his wife, and they would. Did you ever have those cookies? They were like it was like another full ceremonial dose in these cookies. They were so
Yes,
good.
yes, I remember the cookies. Oh, I'd forgot. I remembered the bliss balls, but I'd forgotten until you said that just now. Those cookies were amazing.
They're incredible. And wow, that was like another dose. So it's like
You just keep
you
going.
keep going. And it was at like 6 p.m. You're like, you're so hungry. You've just been sitting there on the porch talking about aliens for like 6 hours, and you're like, food. Then you don't realize it's a full other trip. And you're like, give me
Oh,
more.
funny.
Something on the ground. Yeah, those were so good. That was a time.
So is
Yeah.
that where it started for you on Keith's porch, or did your love of cacao start before that?
It started before that. I mean, like most of us, I feel we grew up with chocolate, like Nestle and Hershey's and Reese's Pieces, Smarties, and just like eating them forever. So that was when my chocolate journey started in some way. And then what happened? I was reflecting. I don't know how this happened, but somehow I was working at this retreat center in Canada for a few years, a few summers. And I
Mm.
think it was my first season there. Oh, I used to eat a lot of like really good chocolate back then. It was Giddy Yo-Yo. It's an amazing Canadian company from Ontario. And this retreat
Mm.
center was in Ontario. So I would just like eat so much of that because it was in the gift shop and it was just so easy. And I was up late one night researching something, and then I found it was called Heart Blood Cacao. and it was this big brick. I was like, what the heck is this? And I read a bit about it, and I was like, yeah, heart opening ceremony. I was like, something just like clicked. I've never been to a cacao ceremony before that. I'd never been to Guatemala or Latin America. This was even before I started traveling on my own, like through Ecuador and Costa Rica,
Oh,
Guatemala.
wow.
And then something, yeah, was just like implanted. So I bought this brick of cacao. It was so expensive to ship one brick of cacao. It was like $60, $70 with the cacao plus the shipping just for one brick. It was ridiculous, but I was like, we're going for it. And And then I don't know, I just had this intuition to like look up how to make it. And then I gathered the staff members at this retreat center in the yurt that we were like practicing in, made this amazing playlist. I always loved dance, like since I was a young kid. And then I just, yeah, made this amazing playlist. Had never really prayed. I didn't grow up religious. I didn't really grow up with a connection to God, but I just like sat down. We had this big pot of cacao, spices, cards, like tea lights, and then I just started praying out of nowhere. And yeah, we drank, and then the music started, and the sun set, and it started to like rain, and we just had this incredible dance experience. And we just kind of looked at each other in the first hour. We're like, "What's happening?" I was like, yeah, my friend was like, "What was in this?" I was like, "I don't know, just cacao and like spice and honey." And he's like, "Was this ecstasy?" I was like, I probably, like, I don't know. Yes, no. And it just did something. It really did something. Yeah, really, it was very magical. And we just danced for hours and then like ran to the edge of the dock and like jumped off. And it was just like the most perfect lighting. Everything looked a bit more like crisp and golden. And we just felt really connected. And yeah, it was like that was the
Mm,
start.
mm, wow.
Yeah.
That's an amazing start. My goodness.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that you
Yeah.
trusted and just went for it. And I love that you shared it with other people as well. How beautiful.
Yeah. It was very
Mm.
unexpected. And my friend was like, "What is this?" I was like, "I don't know. Do you want to join?" Yes. Okay. Boom.
It's funny that you say someone was like, "Is this ecstasy?" Because sometimes cacao can feel a bit like that. Like, oh my God, I'm so in love with everything right now.
Yeah. Just like
Mm,
embodied and out of the head and out of the stories and
mm.
oh, like out of the densities and the things that hold us back that don't need to, you know?
Yeah, and that connection with the people around you as well. If you're all having cacao together, there's such a beautiful openness in the group. Mm.
Yeah. And I mean, I had taken like things like this, like ecstasy, whatever, before that. And yeah, it felt similar in a way, but less, like more grounded,
Mm, mm.
more connected, more real, more true, less like produced or less manufactured, less chemical, and more like, I think this is how we're supposed to be feeling, like most
Yeah,
of the time, you know?
yeah. It
Yeah,
doesn't
like how did we get,
like it's like how Keith would always talk about that. It doesn't push you. You know, those stronger drugs will push you over the edge, but cacao is like walks with you and opens the door for you. And
yes.
yeah, it's more gentle, but somehow more profound as well.
Totally. Yeah, I think, I mean, in like party culture, for example, we like have a good time because we're noticing like such a difference when we like take something, drink something, we're like so altered. And then things loosen up and we associate that with fun or with like a journey. But then with cacao, it's so subtle, but so deep in like a way that these other, yeah, things I think are, it's like missing,
Mm,
you
mm.
know?
The depth,
Yeah.
the realness.
The realness. And I remember even having, this was after the first cacao ceremony. I think this was the first winter that I went traveling alone, ended up at Herdaya in Mazunte in Mexico. And I wasn't drinking cacao at the time. A lot was moving for me, and I just needed to be with like myself and the ocean and fruit and water. And then I remember like, I'm gonna wake up at 5 and sit in the meditation hall before the morning meditation, just eat one single cacao bean and
Mm,
just like really sit with it. And yeah, it's like if you really tune in and like create these spaces for silence and solitude and the quietness, the gentleness, you really see like, whoa, it's a lot, but it's not like obvious. It's very like, it's like a whisper sometimes. And it's very,
mm, mm.
yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful practice to sit with one cacao bean. And
Yes.
I presume you ate the cacao bean, right? You weren't just holding it. Yeah. But
I was holding it for a bit and I felt like I was about to almost like just brought me back to party days of like, okay, we're really doing this. But of course it was different. But yeah, and then I ate it really gently, really slowly, sat for like about an hour before people started coming in for the 1 hour meditation, just sat for 2 hours and with the sunrise and oh yeah, magic.
mm,
Yeah,
that's a special story because it's like we don't always need to have this big, strong cup of cacao in order to feel something. The more we allow our senses to perceive it and open ourselves to the subtleties, it can show
yeah.
us so much. And yeah.
Mm.
I think the plant realm is very much like that, like not just cacao, so many plants can, the more we the more we listen, right? The more we receive.
Yeah, look at all the trees in the background. I feel like they just started moving more quickly, like surrounding you, like, listen, listen, yes, we're here. Yeah.
Dancing as I speak. I can see them in the video. That's so nice. Yeah, lovely breeze is coming through, which is great because it's a hot day. So,
Yes.
ah, so yeah, so you had that experience with your friends. You were in Mazunte meditating with cacao. And then where else has this journey led you?
After Mazunta, what happened? I went back to Canada that year. I don't think I worked so much with Cacao that year. It was kind of like she was always around. I was always eating those chocolate bars that were so good. Um, and then that next winter, where did I go? Back to Mexico, then back to Canada, and then from there, okay, so this is when I think it really began. I feel like, whew. Um, this, there was this there was this postcard on the fridge. I'm just gonna show you right now. There's
Okay.
a postcard of volcanoes. I think it was these exact volcanoes. Can you see it there?
You mean the lake and the volcano? Yes, I
There
see
was
your beautiful view. For anyone who's not watching the video, Andrew just showed us his incredible view of the lake. You have such a good spot right now. The lake and the
the
volcano.
this is the most beautiful place I've ever lived. Um, there was yeah a postcard of these volcanoes on the fridge of this retreat center, and I think it was yeah my third winter or my third summer there, and I eventually noticed it, and I was like, what's up with this? Like, where are these volcanoes? And what is this? And my friend, his name was Sharon, he had been here before. He's like, what do you mean? Like, you don't know, you never been here? Like, you never been to the lake? I was like, what's the lake? And then I remember I was reflecting when I was in Mexico the previous winter. I remember all these people, because it's close to here, they would take the bus like back and forth. Yeah, the lake, oh, Atitlan, da da da, Cacao, the lake. And it was always just like in my field those last years. And then eventually, yeah, Sharon, he was like, you need to go. I was like, I feel you. Um, yeah, so that was the beginning. And eventually, because yeah, this retreat center I would work for 8 months and then have 4 months in the winter. And I came here with a partner at the time. We were together 2.5 years. We came here, it was mid-January 2017, so 8 years ago, exactly almost. And then I found myself here. And yeah, the magic vortex began, like that swirl of trust and surrender and synchronicity. Like, I mean, I didn't know about what vortexes were or magical portals around the world. And yeah, and then she started to do her dance here. Well, yeah, I'll share more about the lake, I'm sure, in this chat. But yeah, many initiations surrounding trust and flow and really going with what's presented, really going with like intuition. So, for example, on the boat ride from Panajachel to San Marcos or to Sununaa, we thought we were going to Sununaa. Our Airbnb canceled on us last minute because someone else needed to come in. So that was the first like initiation of okay, trust, trust. We have to trust. Like something's happening, something's happening. But of course, like my Western mind was like, but that's so rude. Like we paid and what's going on? And I was like fighting it. There's this balance and this like dialogue between surrender and trust and seeing and like really going with it to like, but I want to make it work and this was the plan and so we ended up not going to Sunana, we went to San Marcos, we went to this hostel. The water was like not working and it was like such a weird thing and I could feel and really witness like so profoundly in my body of like I'm meant to trust, like we're all meant to trust, just trust what's happening, trust what's unfolding. And I felt such like a glitch in my body and I would start to tighten when I went into the mind and trying to think like what's gonna happen next or where are we gonna stay tomorrow or why are we here? Like are we meant to be here? Is this a sign? And as soon as I relaxed back into just the current that was carrying us, that called me to be here and like continues to call me back over these last 8, 9 years. Oh, it's just magic. And it's, yeah, deeply alchemized and transformed how I live. And it also led me to Keith as well. Um, I think this was, yeah, we got here January 17th, I think. And I just, actually, my friend last year, she sent me notes from the ceremony that we were in. I think it was like January 26th. And we were just chatting like about our first ceremonies on the porch. And yeah, she sent me the notes of like the notes she was taking with Keith and with me there. And
Mm. Do you know what year this was that you first went?
this was yeah 2017. This was I think January 25th, 26th of 2017 that
Ah,
we like
yeah.
found our way to there. And I
Mm.
also like kept hearing this name being kind of thrown around before coming here. Keith, Cacao shaman, like wizard, magician. It's like, okay, cool. And then the same feeling, like I think the first week there, it was this again, this battle or this like flip-flopping between planning and trusting, like masculine, feminine. And so the
Mm.
more that I just like sunk back into the current of the feminine and it just like led me to his porch and we were just like sitting on the hill outside of his porch waiting to go in and we're both like looking at each other like what's going on and what's about to happen and yeah so that so then we ended up there.
So I think we have talked about this before, but we were actually at the lake at the same time then as well, because I met you properly I met you in 2019, or
Yes.
maybe, yeah, I met you in 2019, and but we'd also been at the lake at the same time because I went first at the end of 2016, or late, like November 2016, and I stayed through until February 2017. So
Okay.
we would have been circling around each other somewhere. And I didn't really go to Keith's very much though, only, yeah, only a couple times. And but that's funny that we were there at that time and then again in 2019. Hmm.
Well, that's for me, that's like season one. There's still a bunch of people who are here from like that first year. That was like their first year. And it's like, that was a really magical year. And we both, like, we all kind of look at each other when we talk about it. We're like, that was some like monumental, transformational, global something that was happening that year on the lake. Something. It was very
Yeah,
special.
I think in the world there was, I've seen something in astrology, there was something, a big shift that took place in 2017. And
Okay.
I've met so many people who went in that time, 2016, 2017.
Oh,
Mackenzie, who I mentioned earlier, went in at around the same time as well and found cacao around that time.
well,
And yeah, there's something happened for sure.
what's happening?
Mm.
It's like this magnet or something. It's like all magnetizes us to be here in the belly button of the earth, of the universe, basically, to like do some magic and like remember our magic, like all together with cacao weaving us all together.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah. So It's so, so nice for me personally. I mean, I know that not everybody listening will know the lake, but on a purely selfish level, I love talking to you and knowing that you're there because it means so much to me. It was a place that just brought me back to myself. You asked me right before we started talking what it meant to me, and yeah, I went there feeling very broken, and I left feeling whole and self-loving and just had so much more faith again and so much more joy. There's such a playful energy there too. I mean, it can take you right into your depths, and that can be hard. Really hard. It's a place for deep, deep healing, like plunging deep into the lake. But there's also so much joy and lightness there, and yeah, it was a place of very profound healing for me. So it's really, really
Mm.
nice to speak to you and tune in with that energy and those memories. And also, yeah, thinking about Keith's porch, which was a pretty massively transformational place for a lot of people. And I started to feel a little bit emotional just when you were talking about waiting on the hill to go inside to to go and be on his porch. And I just felt this sense of like, oh, he really did something so special for all of us cacao lovers. And it pains me sometimes now to see people kind of trying to bring him down a little bit. It's not happening too much, but there are places where there's this sense of like, oh, he was a scammer and all these weird things. And and I've mentioned this to you before, and I think you said it was never about him. It was about, yeah, maybe you can say what it was about. What in your experience was it all about?
I'm still wondering. No, I mean, yeah, no. And that's something he would always say, like especially in private sessions, he would say, especially in relationships and in private sessions that have to do with relationships, or if couples would go, he would say, like, it's never about what it's about. Like, so when there's a couple sitting in front of him and he didn't do the dishes, or he keeps doing this, or he keeps da da da, or she's doesn't do this, and blame, projection. And he's like, it's not about that. It's not about the dishes. It's not about it's not about what they're saying. It's like, what is it actually pointing to inside of yourself? What is that feeling? What is that trauma? What is that memory, past life memory? What is it bringing up, and why? What are you being called to look at? What are you being called to alchemize? What are you being called to transform? We all are carrying something from previous moments, previous relationships, previous lifetimes, and
Mm.
um, what is it all about? I I see my friend's face. He's like an old timer. He's a bit older than me, and he's been going to Keith. I mean, he was going to Keith for, I think, like most ceremonies for years and years and years, and even years before me. And I think he looked at me one day and he's like, "Do you understand like what's happening here, like on this porch? Like, do you understand?" And I was like, "Yes and no and yes." You know, like, yeah, goosebumps. Like, to this day, I'm sure there's like still this alchemical vortex of light and of energy just like emanating from that tiny little porch that somehow we were all called to be here in the middle of the highlands of Guatemala on this random crater lake in the middle of nowhere. Just like so much happened and so much moved and so many tears, so much joy, so much lightness, so much transformation. Oh, like, what is it? It's that. It's uh it's like wizard school. It's like real-time Harry Potter,
Yeah.
in an
Yeah.
in an afternoon. Yeah,
He was like a wizard somehow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it felt like the deepest therapy, the deepest friendship, the deepest mystery, the deepest,
Mm.
like, I mean, right after he passed, I just kept thinking how, like, oh, like all I want to do is just be in that space and be in that energetic field of transformation and presence and
Mm.
truth. And
Mm. Mm.
there's so much distraction in the world, and it's like designed to pull us out of our center and out of our hearts and out of what actually is important here in this life, I feel.
Mm.
Um, there was this one specific ceremony that I was in that I think I came a bit later and I was sitting on the edge and like really close to this plant, this huge plant, just like growing right beside the porch. And I was watching, yeah, there was this person who was like, she was sitting right in front of him and she was like deeply in suffering. She was deeply in pain and I don't know what it was about, but it was like so human and so real and so normal, like not normal, but yeah, she was just having an experience, a challenging experience, and I just looked at the plant. I was just like having this like trataka, this like eye gazing session with the plant, and I was like, whoa, like this is our natural state, just like being. Um, and I was in that moment like, whoa, I was so much understanding and compassion for like myself and also this person going through these, yeah, challenging, very human, real human pains and suffering. And he, yeah, okay, like side note, I was just like having, yeah, this presence moment in this plant and this like beingness and like independent of like all my human problems and my stories and my traumas. I was just like radiating with the plant. And then I come back to this human, emotional, mental, physical process. And I was just like, whoa, like I think life wants us to be more here and like connect with each other from this place. And I feel like this is what Keith was doing. Like he was helping people move through and also beyond suffering,
Mm.
like quickly.
Mm. Mm.
This is what, um, he's like, what? Like, are you having fun? Like, why are you on some level choosing to be in this like painful relationship or this painful dynamic with this family member? Or why are you holding on to this? Like, why can't you just like let things flow through you and pass through? And like, when you hold a grudge, it's poison to yourself. And if someone
Mm.
says something really gnarly to you and you hold on to it, you ruminate, you stew in it, you're so mad, you just want to fight fire with fire, you want to fight back, you want revenge, or you're taking it in, you're eating it, you're holding on to it, you're projecting that this person is this way or I'm this way. And he's just like, cut all that. Like that is not the paradigm that we need to be in anymore. Like, but like it's a cleaning process. We're moving through it very globally and very quickly more than ever these last years, especially since he passed, I feel. He's like
Mm. Mm.
since he passed, I just feel him like everywhere, like closer, literally. Like I've sat with him and I feel him closer, like now more than ever in the spirit.
Mm.
In those weeks, like since he passed, I just could like hear him and like feel him, and I was living beside him, like I could just feel his everythingness everywhere and the magic and the alchemy that he could now do again real time, like in the ethers in a way that he couldn't when he was in the physical, in the human suit, I guess.
Oof,
And
wow. Powerful.
yeah, and this
Wow.
is the thing too. He said, like, do you want to like take the struggle bus or do you want to take the magic bus? Like, do you
Mhm.
want to have fun in this process of like shedding layers and in this process of living, or do you like on some level are you like committed to the programming of suffering and the programming of right and wrong and I'm right, they're wrong, they did this, I'm a victim. It's like
Mm.
I can be free of that, really?
Mm. Mm.
And he was just the most potent mirror and like holding incredible and unconditionally loving and curious, playful magic space. Very
Yes,
quantum, I think, is
yes.
what he's up to and what he is still up to. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what he was doing. I'm just guessing.
I love that. Like, there's still so much mystery even after all the time you spent with him and um, sitting in the mystery. We don't have to be like, this is exactly what he was doing. But uh, yeah, I love that you mentioned the playfulness and the magic. I felt that so much from Keith. Like, hold. holding that frequency of joy, which we don't always find in healing work and spirituality. It can be so serious. And he and he was so
Oh,
cheeky, and yeah, he made me laugh like right off the bat, and I really appreciated that. And it was about so much more than him or the cacao even. It was, I remember him even saying once, you don't even really fully need the cacao. Like, which seems very counterproductive for someone who had his own cacao brand to say that. Um, but it's the cacao is just like a support, a, a help for us to go on this journey of transformation and joy and mm,
yeah. And it's interesting. It's almost like and I see this a lot in even trainings that I've recently done or just different sorts of modalities or healing. And so, for example, at this retreat center, I've never done a yoga teacher training, but there was one morning when someone was sick, and this is around the time that I started working more with Cacao as well. She was like, "Can you teach?" And I was like, "Yes, yes. I'm just gonna share from the overflow and like connect to myself, connect to my heart, like breathe, simple, and then yeah, just share." Share
mm,
my life experience, share my practice, share the yoga, share. And it's like, yeah, I think he gave a lot of people the permission to give themselves the permission slip that they needed to know that they don't need anything or anyone or any certification or anything to be who they really are and share their truth and share their heart, but it's interesting, like we have these, yeah, different programs, like to now I drink cacao and now my heart is open, or now I drink cacao and now I can tap in, or now I do this program or this certification and now I'm certified to then do this thing. But I feel like he was also really good at helping people dissolve all of that. He's like, you are a magician, like you don't need to go to magic school, you just need to remember, and he like really helped he really quickly helped a lot of people remember, I feel. um yeah, and then I think the more you work at this level of consciousness, you don't need anything. You don't need
yeah.
to be happy or to feel open. You don't need to be in this relationship to feel connected. You don't need to be around people even to feel, yeah, connect your connection or with God, or
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
we don't need a lot.
I'm
Yeah,
glad we're talking about this because for me,
yeah.
working with cacao and creating this podcast, similarly to what we've been saying, it's not just about the cacao. It's not just about
Mhm.
having a podcast. There's so much more to it. And for me, I'm simply following my joy. And also I know that cacao is like a doorway into so much more. Like my real passion is remembering, it's the unspoken, the reconnection with God, self, love. And I know that for me, cacao is my most joyful way of entering those spaces. And it's my passion, I love everything about it. It's easy to talk about. But I feel it was similar with Keith, and he was such a master at reminding us how to tune in with our real selves. And so it's nice that we're speaking to that because yeah, sometimes I feel like people might be like, why is she so obsessed with cacao?
Um,
Like, it's so much more than the cacao. Yeah.
yeah, it's what it for me at least, like since it's what it represents. It's like like you said, the portal or the doorway into almost like all those memories when experiences when I first started to like tune in and turn on and activate, you know?
Mm.
Yeah. Which is possible without it. It's like, yeah, of course I'm gonna drink hot chocolate. Like,
Yeah.
like
We have the
What else have
choice.
we got?
It's nicer to drink it.
Totally.
And it's so
Thank you.
nourishing as well.
Yeah, on all levels.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for anyone who doesn't know much about Keith or never got to go on his porch, I'd just like to describe a little bit what that looked like, that because it was such a I don't know, I'll share a little bit of my own experience and then maybe you can share a little bit of more of yours if you wish. But for me, I'd heard about this cacao shaman and I actually thought when I first heard about him, I didn't hear his name. It was just cacao shaman or chocolate shaman or something like that. And I imagined that he would be like maybe of Mayan descent and that there'd be, and I heard cacao ceremony. I thought there was going to be, I don't know, fire, some kind of ceremonial process. Um, I didn't really know what to expect, but I had a completely different vision. And I go along, and it's like this little tiny porch in front of a little tiny cabin. But you walk up this sweet garden path, and the cacao fairy takes your money, and um, you go and sit down, and you're served a plastic cup with just
Yeah.
literally cacao mixed with hot water or warm water, even. I think it was maybe they heated it on the stove. Not blended, like you said at the beginning, it was kind of gritty and just the cacao mixed in. And we're just all handed these plastic cups, and there's this white American guy who's very irreverent, and I'm just like, what is going on here?
Uh-huh.
So a bit of like, I put a wall up a little bit at the start because I was like, this is not what I expected. But it broke down all these, it was like a lesson in expectations for me, and that actually you don't have to do this whole big ceremonial thing. You can just have if it's more like if you want to, and if we love doing that, that's beautiful. But yeah, and then we'd just sit there for hours drinking the cacao and talking. And honestly, the first time I did not know what was going on. I really didn't. Why am I here? What are we doing? Um, I think I had stayed for maybe 4 hours, and then I was like, wow, we're still here. I think I need to go and eat something. So I went to leave and I thought I'll take a little bliss ball with me. So I bent down to pay for the bliss ball and I kind of went like this to Keith, like, I'm gonna go, thank you, like just in front of him, kind of in the, trying to make myself small so I didn't get in the way of the conversation. And I was about to leave and he went, just a moment to me and he
Yeah.
said,
Classic.
and said like, I want you to go. And he was in a process with an older man, doing a whole lot of processing with him, which I hadn't felt very engaged in because I was getting hungry. And he said, I want you to go over to this man and put your hand over his head. And I thought that Keith just needed me to support this man's process or like be part of his process. But he tricked me into going into my own process.
Not done here.
Yeah, hang on a minute. You can't leave until you until we do something with you. Um, and so I had my hand over his head and he started to ask me, what do you feel? And basically he was showing me my own abilities to work with energy, and which I kind of knew I'd dabbled in, but I wasn't very confident at all. And then he took me into healing work with someone else, and it was just this whole big, huge experience that blasted me wide open. And I left going, okay, I think I might understand what's going on here a bit more now. And yeah, so I had that experience of being shown, hey, you're way more powerful than you think. You are seen, you belong, you're worthy, you can do this healing work that you've been unsure about. And I, yeah, it really kind of, poof, it was amazing. Woke me up. Mm.
Buenos
Yeah. But I didn't need a lot more than that. I only went back once or twice, I think. And
Yes.
and I kind of wish I'd gone more now that he's passed. I'd love to sit with him again, but it was a huge gift and I'm really grateful for it. Mm.
Well, yeah. Wow.
Thanks for listening to that. I don't think I've shared that story yet on the podcast, so I appreciate
Okay.
sharing it with you. Mm.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's what he was doing. He had, I mean, super psychic. It's like, of course, if you're drinking this very high level frequency plant often, and you're living in one of the most powerful vortexes of the world in the world, and you're so completely devoted to this path of fun and awakening and energy and transformation, like he's seen some stuff and he feels some stuff, and so he's like, yeah, he knows exactly who to not pick on but choose, I guess, for each ceremony. Or he just really like, he would, yeah, tune into these subtle shifts, and then like you in the back or beside you, like what's going on behind your heart, or like
Mm.
what happened for three, like soup, like the field was strong.
Mm.
He was in
Mm.
consistently. And of course, as you said, like there was this porch, and then off just off the porch was his bedroom, which was also his kitchen. And then on the side was like his tiny little corner with two little camping seats for his private sessions. And then the bathroom over here, a little cement room. And it's
Mm.
like, yeah, it was a
Very
very strong
humble.
field. And even when very humble, yeah, like just so simple and magical. And
Mm.
yeah,
I
and
feel like I need to mention Barbara as well, his beautiful
yeah,
partner, his beautiful love, who would always be there as such a strong, energetic support, just witnessing, holding space.
hours, years, like decades of being his right hand woman, wing woman.
Yeah. Mm.
Bless her.
Mm.
Bless her, bless
Yeah, blessings to Barbara.
her.
And
Oh,
to Keith for just shining the light so much on cacao so that we could all see it and become aware, and so it
yeah,
could come out into the world even more.
yeah. He's like, I would say the main reason why any of us are drinking this, you
Mm.
know? I feel like, when did he come here? So maybe it was 2010, maybe even before. And have you shared a bit about how he got into cacao and how, like, his story on your podcast at all? Or
Um, I don't think I have really. Uh,
okay,
yeah, if you want to share a little bit about that, you're welcome to. And I also
yeah,
want to direct people to listen to the beautiful conversation that you shared with me on another podcast that where he tells his story. So I might even put that in the show notes if people want to listen to Keith speaking. Mm.
yes. My dear friend Jackie, she
Yeah.
lives in El Paso, but she's been coming here as long as I have as well. Also very connected to the Rose Path and devotion and the Mary Magdalene manuscripts, and we can share about that in a bit, I think. But yeah, she was a devotee of this path as well, and of this porch life and porch portal. And she recorded this interview. It was also a video. I think, oh, just before, like, I think a week or two, maybe 3 weeks before he passed last January 2024. So it could have been even like end of December, early January. And yeah, just sat in that space. And yeah, such a beautiful sharing. But in it, he also shares a story. But basically, how he got into this was, I don't even remember which state he was in, somewhere in like maybe like the deep south or something. And he just, out of nowhere, because he was also very tapped in from a young age to angel realms and aliens and extraterrestrials and Bashar, and he was just like his channel was so open, and he had this whisper of like, go to Guatemala, go to Lake Atitlan, go to San Marcos, live there for a bit, and then eventually he had this calling to speak to this farmer. I think they like run into each other one day. Something happened. He was like, "Yeah, I have this cacao farm. It's across the lake. Well, you should come with me. Go across from Santiago so from San Marcos to Santiago. Then we'll take a shuttle and go into like the more the tropical area of Guatemala." So he did. He started like, yeah, enjoying the process, enjoying the trees, and then had a cup. No, sorry, he didn't have a cup there. He said, I wanna try this." So they sent him back, I think, either with beans or a paste. So he went home. I think the next day he like whipped it up, kind of like I was doing, just like, I guess I do this and add some hot water and
Mm.
let's see what happens. And then he was probably also steeped in other sorts of uh, substances and plants and different allies. And at the time, I mean, he was like, I think he was like 80 something when he passed. So this was when he was maybe 60 something. So he had a whole life. And yeah, he had this experience of like, okay, this is new. He felt this like feminine something come online. He just sat there and had that conversation and felt those things, and then he had this strong download, this strong invitation. He's like, oh, this is what was calling, like this specific being, this specific plant ally, because you're meant to share this with the world. He was like, what?
Mm.
After his cup. It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, 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 trust it. Just we're gonna arrange the things. He was like hearing, we're gonna arrange everything for you. Just go with the process, show up for it. We're gonna send you all the right people. This is gonna help heal the planet. You're gonna invite people to your house. You're gonna be, a voice of this medicine, and also a voice for remembrance and a voice for transformation. And like you have this an experience with energy and working and ceremonial transformational spaces. So you're just going to blend all of this together, and people will be there, and you're going to receive abundance for it as well. And you're going to do it twice a week for the next couple decades. And you're going to work with people one-on-one. You're also going to do it online and enjoy. Basically, that was his experience. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard him speak about how the cacao spirit really connected with him. And I think at first he didn't quite know what it was, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and that the cacao spirit, yeah, was speaking to him. And I remember that first time when I first sat on the porch with him, he was talking about, oh, the cacao spirit started talking to me. And honestly, I was very skeptical. I was like, what do you mean the cacao spirit's talking to you?
Mhm.
I was like, oh yeah, roll my eyes a little bit. Um, and
You can-
and it's so funny to me now because that's a big part of what I do now is listen to the cacao spirit. And I understand that every plant has its own spirit and its own medicine for us. And yeah, cacao's a particularly beautiful one. So I love that he just said yes to that whole journey and trusted. And yeah. So can I ask you how it was for you and at the lake when Keith passed? It was a pretty big time for all of us who had met him. And but I obviously wasn't at the lake, but I'm curious how the energy was there.
Yeah. So, what was it? So, this was, I guess, a year before he passed. I just want to share this little story. I
Please.
was preparing flowers. I was picking flowers along like where we were living. I was living at the Solani dock, which was the dock just past his porch. I lived there I think it was this high season of 2022 to 2023. Yeah. I was picking flowers, preparing to go share cacao at a New Year's Eve festival and share a DJ set and Lake Atitlan dance. And I was picking the flowers, and him and Barbara walked by. They were walking into town. It was like noon or something, and we just like look at each other, and he's just like, 2023, like what happened? And then I was like, yeah, don't know. And he just like gives me the thumbs up. He's like, good job. And they just walk on. You're just like, and then I think like Heath or maybe Barbara, they just make this sound like "Meow" or something, or like "Brr," and then he just like walks on. And that was one of the last memories I have of him. After that, it was I saw him getting into a boat with this like huge dread. He just like stopped brushing his hair. He's just like, I'm
Oh,
going.
really?
And then they're just like this big, beautiful silver being. Oh, and yeah, so then the next year I felt like I got called back to this place where I was living at the Solani dock, and I was like, it's a nice place, and I don't know why I'm feeling called to go back here. I had my experience there and da da da, but yeah, so I got back. It was end of December, and he passed a couple weeks after that, 3 weeks after I got back, and
Wow, is that all? Gosh. Mm.
yeah. So this was, I guess, January. What are we? 2025, January 2024.
Hmm.
He passed on the night of his Mayan birthday. One
Mm.
app was one, yeah, one is the beginning, the seed, the emergence, and Akpu, AJPU is like the light, illumination, like the new. I for me, it's like the new way, the new paradigm. So he's like the beginning of the new way, the
Mm.
beginning of light. And I knew, yeah, I knew that his health was taking a bit of a turn, and we felt it kind of coming. And then I got, how did I find out? Hmm, I think like someone told me, or maybe it was in an email or something, and I messaged Rick at the time, who's like big with the Keith's Cacao business, and eventually got back and said yes, he just passed away last night, and yeah, it was yeah very deeply emotional because I also um a few months before that like booked a session with him that I had to cancel
Oh.
for a different reason. Oh, I was with yeah my partner at the time, and we had something come up, and I just felt like if we had gone, there would have been. I mean, who knows? There would have been this beautiful alchemy and really beautiful process for both of us. But yeah, so he passed, and the yeah the energy was it was very strange. It felt like one of those mornings. I don't know if you were here ever for the rainy season, but this was dry
Mm.
season, and it felt like those mornings like after the rain. Like it was a very clear morning, blue sky, the sparkliest lake ever, like deep royal blue, so quiet. It almost felt like those mornings also when they cut the power for like working on whatever. Everything was so still, and it's like it was in the air, and like I said, I started to feel him like electricity with me, like so close. I could like see him. I could even right now like hear him, and like the goosebumps just were so prominent, and it was it was interesting. It felt like end of an era was the energy, and it's kind of also still unfolding with this year that we're in now, 2025, a 9 year of the serpent, like lots about shedding and lots of transformation. And something that I kept hearing in those weeks that after he passed was, oh, like what makes a good teacher is someone that expects you to go beyond them.
Mm.
I,
Mm.
yeah, different sorts of teachers or gurus or whatever, these spiritual figures where maybe they like get off on you depending on them. They love the attention or they love the dependency, and there's like the whole guru complex. But he was not that. He was like mm, yeah, he was like almost training us or preparing us all for the moment where he passed, where, you know, even myself, like there was some level of like, oh, I just think I need to go to Keith really quick, or I think I need support, or I think I need a bit of extra, like a little magic oomph or something. And
Mm.
then again, that thing that I kept hearing was like you're ready, like it's time, like it's now, like every session, every moment on the porch, every yeah moment of connection together was like preparing you to like actually hold the wand now, and like you like passed on this baton of light, of pure light to us all. And it was then now up to all of us to really like receive that and like claim that magic, and the ownership of that, and the yeah yeah and and it was amazing just to witness like how everyone, all my friends who were also like working with him quite intimately over the years, like really like come online and just really recognize like, okay, this is this is it. Like we went to school, we've graduated, and it was like his passing was like the celebration or the graduation party of like, you know, and then also kept hearing like he's like, I'm not gone, like I'm
Mm.
everywhere
Mm.
with you.
Mm. Mm.
And
That
yeah,
this is also beautiful. You're reminding me of his Zoom memorial, which
oh yeah,
happened a little bit after he passed, and like I think the Zoom was full like 500 people, and it was maxed out and went for hours and hours. And I think I messaged you and said, how was it? And you said it's still going, like hours.
yeah.
I wasn't able to attend because it was very early in the morning in New Zealand. So I thought, oh, I'm not going to make it. Oh, there's your light. Yeah, I noticed the sun must have gone down. It's got dark for you.
But all navy,
Oh,
purpley, lavender, delicious. Yeah.
the sun's gone. No. Yeah, there's still a little bit of dusk. Um, yeah, so I thought I would have missed the Zoom memorial, and yeah, you said it's still going. Join. And so I jumped in, and I got in just at the right moment because maybe 5 minutes after I came in, I don't know who it was that said this, and many blessings to that person, but somebody said something that just really stood out to me, which is exactly what you were just speaking to. They said, when this, that the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And then they added, and when the student is ready, the teacher disappears. And I
Yes.
was just like, oh, man,
Oh,
feel
so
that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're ready.
And I
Yeah,
had been feeling it too because I just brought through this idea of the podcast and I was like, oh, Keith's not going to be around. That makes me feel like I need to step up more and it's time. And
yeah,
of course, I was very sad I wouldn't ever be able to have him on the podcast, but to be able to speak about him with you is really lovely. And, as you say, his energy is all around. So, yeah, very grateful. And it is beautiful to have that sense of like, he's urging us on, like, okay, you guys step up now. It's your turn.
yes, yes. It's that was a whole process too. I think like a bit of a grieving and also a bit of a excitement and empowerment. And it's easy to ask for help. It's easy to go in and go to the therapist or go to the magic wizard and get your tune up, and but it's been the wow, like the biggest and most empowering journey to yeah, to trust that it's here and it's a second away and it can be joyful and it can be fun. Whatever I'm thinking, I'm choosing. I'm not changing, I'm choosing. And yeah, the lights are flickering, exactly. And then yeah, we also have all those beautiful the podcasts and the interviews, and the Go to Glow meditation that I put to music that I would love to share with, I did share with you, and maybe you could
Mm.
post it as well
Yeah,
to
yeah.
SoundCloud.
I'll add that to the show notes for sure. Keith sharing his meditation and then you added music to it. It's gorgeous. There is a phone ringing in it, which I thought was interesting. I don't know.
When you said it's like something about God, and then it's like the iPhone goes off, and like God calling. Yeah, yeah.
But that's
Oh,
so beautiful that you honored his meditation by adding music. It really touched me when I listened to it.
oh. I just
Mm.
remembered also that it's like the Keith Homecoming Cacao Retreat happening right now, like this week, right
Oh,
now.
oh
So
wow.
little synchronicity of why it's happening now. And someone actually ordered a pie from me, so they came to pick up the pie this morning, and she had this huge bag. It's like the size of your Guatemala bag with like big Keith's cacao like woven into it. And I was just like, oh,
Oh,
yes, you are here. Muy bien.
oh,
Yeah,
that's so nice. Oh.
yeah,
The homecoming is for people to come and study cacao, and it's run by the Keith's Cacao people, and yeah.
yeah. So he used to run it. I never went. I don't know how many years he was doing it, but it used to be held at La Paz, that like one of the oldest hotels in San Marcos here, and it'd be like 1 week long ceremony basically. So instead of the four, five, six, seven, eight ceremonies twice a week, it would be like, yeah, all days long for I think
Mm,
7 days or something. Bit of
amazing.
dance, meditation, quantum healing. Such a, yeah, magical time that must have been. The lights flickering.
Your lights are dancing.
Yes. Oh, no, it's very dark. Let's see. We'll try this. Yeah.
So Keith took us on this journey in a big, big way, and I want to hear more about your journey with cacao as well. And unless there's anything else you want to say about Keith before we move on to you.
Yes. Journey with cacao.
Well, I just because I find you so fun to witness all the different things that you do, and I only get to witness you through the online world unless I mean, this is a real treat to have this big long chat with you because we connect over Instagram and you share such beautiful things on Instagram. I've said this to you before, but I think you have the best Instagram stories. You just they're so lovely. Like you share your travels and beautiful things, and I love to watch them and see all your travels and your beautiful photography. And you do so
Mm,
much. Well, you do so many different things with the healing arts, creativity,
yes.
photography, music. It's like you cover all these areas, and it's so fascinating. And I know
Mm,
that cacao weaves through a lot of that.
yes, it does. It's oh my gosh. Yeah, like we were saying earlier, it's been the portal or like the gateway, the doorway into honestly just prayer. And I was just speaking to a friend yesterday about, yeah, like you said, I do enjoy doing so many things, and cacao weaves through. But I think what cacao opened for me that weaves through everything that I do is, yeah, just prayer and remembering the sacred and remembering our soul. Um, and yeah, and cacao has also really helped me remember my soul. It's I mean, even like at her diet in Mexico, when I started really connecting with the subtleties of the soul with cacao, with the cacao bean, it hmm, yeah, it was such a portal. And it got me to slow down cacao, I feel, and like really create containers for myself every morning. It's such a beautiful ritual, as you know, just every morning taking a time, just be, receive and ask and listen, and come to the breath, come to the body, come to your why, come to your prayer for the day, for the intention. Your intention, what are you creating? What are you aligning with? What frequency are you, tuning into? And at this point, maybe it could have been anything. Maybe it didn't have to be cacao. Maybe it could have been like orange juice or something, but for some reason it was cacao. Right? Um, and so, yeah, I do love to weave cacao and also, yeah, just prayer and creating like safe spaces and safe containers through my offerings, which are, yeah, ecstatic dance, DJing ecstatic dance, also sharing cacao ceremonies beforehand, Thai massage, water massage, the pies. I've had this raw vegan pie business at the lake here for the last 4 years, cooking for
For New
retreats.
Zealanders, I just need to say that they're like raw, what we would call a raw cake, but you call them
Uh,
raw pies. Because in New Zealand, a
what?
pie is a
Yes,
cooked, like floury thing with a filling, but you do these
yes,
beautiful, like raw cakes with a base, and yeah. So
yes.
just wanted to make that distinction because
Uh-huh.
your, as you call them, pies are so beautiful.
Oh, how did it start? I think that was, yeah, 4 years ago. And I was like, what would I call this business? Do people want this? And it was, I just heard plant pies, like vegan plant-based pies, like Andrew's plant pies. It's cute. I like it. Um, and then what else? Yeah, cacao. What do I do? I've
You
been
do so many things.
also I've been so much enjoying. I just received this facilitator program for Kundalini activation ceremonies, and
Oh
it's been nice
yeah.
to haven't specifically included cacao, but I've included, yeah, just the ritual of aliveness and
Mm.
yeah, we've um and it's funny, Keith would always say like, yeah, welcome to San Marcos where you'll drink cacao before everything here. It's like
Yeah.
before like at a dance, like brushing your teeth, like taking a shit, Cacao for me, like cacao and awareness, or cacao and attention, or cacao and consciousness, cacao and like remembrance of what I'm doing in this life. And for me, I just associate so much like cacao and sitting with cacao as synonymous with presence and, yeah, like peace and, mm,
Mm.
yeah, like kind of resting back in my like conscious creatorship, because it's so easy to just like fly around, especially here. There's so many things to do and get distracted by and enjoy as well. And you can get lost in like, what am I doing? Like, what am I creating? What am I focusing on? What am I wanting to bring through into the world? What wants to be brought through into the world through me? So for me, cacao is like this ally, even when I just think about cacao, just to, yeah, rest back in, like, what am I creating? What frequency am I moving from, speaking from, creating from? Uh, it's like, yeah, helps me tune back into my magic. And it's like, if all of our reality is our own creation, nothing's happening to us. It's like we are weaving, we are creating in every moment. And yeah, just like you, again, hearing cacao or thinking about cacao helps me remember to like keep creating well, and keep creating consciously what I want to see more of in my life and in the life and in the world and beyond. And yeah,
Mm.
that's my journey with cacao lately.
Oh, I love that. It applies to all of us. I mean, I know from experience that San Marcos can be very distracting. Like you say, there is so much going on. But I think for most of us in the world, especially if we have a phone and we're tuned
Yeah.
into all the crazy stuff going on in the world, especially if people, have busy lives and families and jobs, and it's like there's so much going on. It distraction is almost like this thing that is trying to keep us from hang on, what am I actually meant to be doing here? And I totally agree that for me as well, cacao is just such a grounding presence of like, okay, regathering, what do I need to focus on? And I think that's a really important lesson for so many of us. So Marcos is like exaggerated portal of that experience, I think, especially in the season when so many people are there in the dry season. There's like so much going on.
So much, so much, so much, so much all the time. It's like a microcosm of the macrocosm of what
Yes.
is happening globally. And I feel like that's why it's so important to, yeah, be so conscious with where you're putting your energy here. I feel like in these vortexes around the world and but also everywhere. It just reminds me of the power of our thoughts and I don't know, specifically yeah, in these vortexes, things just happen really quickly. I don't know if you've experienced the level of manifestation here as you have in other places in the world, but for some reason things just happen very quickly here and
Mm.
you know, for better or for worse. So it's like check your vibration, check your thoughts, check yourself because like it happens quickly and then it also like has this I feel ripple effect out into the everything and also the reverse effect as well. It's like what's happening globally is also happening here in the microcosm and I'm just witnessing it like in the community and how yeah the micro affects the macro and vice versa as well. It's like this beautiful
Mm.
breath, so it's like
Mm.
let's breathe well all together because it like our breath and our say is important in the our personal and the global creation. Yeah,
Mm.
it's like we have a responsibility and we're never like off the hook. We're never off duty. It's like, which is, yeah, it's not as a to be a pressure, but as like a epic remembrance of like, whoa, we're like always in the magic, even if we don't think we are.
Mm.
Just like a whole other level, I feel like of empowerment when you like recognize like I'm choosing joy or choosing on some level suffering or you know, I've witnessed myself committed in the past to some levels of suffering or different programs of, um, yeah, that. And it's like, hang on, check in. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm. So what are you committed to now?
Oh, joy, health, yeah,
Mm.
wellness, connection, magic, prayer, forgiveness,
Mm. Mm.
care,
Mm.
uh, compassion, mm, patience.
Mm.
Yeah. Full life, full
Mm.
aliveness. Yeah, it's like we could go in any second. I mean, luckily Keith had a big, beautiful, epic, long life, and it's just like you're here in a second, and then you take a breath, and then so there's this. I think it's a Buddhist saying, but it's like memento mori, remember death, remember death. Like there's these monks, I guess, or these Buddhist monks, or they would just travel around and they would have this mantra like remember death, memento mori, because in a second this could all be gone, and people will reincarnate and become a puppy or a queen or whatever. But it's like while we're here, like whoa, milk it, like whoa, you know, like we're here. Yeah.
Mm.
That's what I'm committed to.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Ah, that made me sit up straight. Thank you.
Yeah. Me too.
We're
I'm like,
here.
okay, I'm alive. Thank God.
Yes.
And another breath. You know,
Mm.
like you hear these stories of like, I mean, knock on wood, like spontaneous, just like, oh, now this person had a heart attack and they died. Like, I pray that that happens to no one ever, but like, whoa, that's a possibility. So would you want to go out not living like your highest, most exciting, most creative, most joyful life?
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, I want to live well.
Yeah. And it does seem like you're living well. You travel and you're doing all these beautiful creative things. What
Mm.
in this beautiful like basket of creativity and wellness that you work with, what are you feeling most excited about right now?
Oh, right now I feel super lit up about these Kundalini activation ceremonies that I've been
Mm.
sharing. in one-on-one, in on person, or in groups, and in online, in groups, in person. And
Mm.
yeah, it's been really magical and mysterious.
Hmm. That
Yeah.
sounds like an energy of waking up and remembering and being alive. A Kundalini
Yes.
activation would do that, I imagine. It's not something I've
Uh-huh.
experienced yet.
Do a session online whenever you want.
Amazing.
If
That
you
would
like,
be,
yeah.
yeah, that would be amazing. I've seen videos of these sessions and some of the things that you've shared, and it looks amazing. Mm.
It's what is it? I so it's first received this session. It was very synchronistic when I was back in Tulum in Mexico. This was in the summer of 2022. I was having a smoothie on the beach with my friend, and then there was this woman beside us, and there was like this vibe. And then we just like looked at each other and started speaking, and she's like, then she was like, "You should come to the CAP session." I was like, "What's CAP?" It was Kundalini Activation process. It's like, okay, cool. I've done some Kundalini breath work and some kriyas and mantras. And so then I went. It was a couple days after. I was at this beautiful hotel on the beach, and yeah, they basically briefly explained what it was. And they did a demo on this woman who had been a few times before. And she just laid down. The practitioner, like, played this really loud, amazing music and just like did some of these mudras and then her full body just like immediately responded and was like involuntarily moving and doing these different mudras and sounds and screaming and crying and laughing and all of it. Is she okay? And so I was super skeptical. Like when you said you first went to Keith, I was like, this is like witchcraft, this is black magic. Like I feel nervous, but I'm here and something's guiding me to be here. And so then, yeah, I laid down for the session and then they played the music and called in on my angels' protection. I was like, what's about to happen? Who's this woman? And yeah, and then had the most beautiful awakening experience, I would say. I mean, I've gone through different levels of waking up and remembrance and different moments of like, whoa, tapping into the magic and the energy of being. And immediately, because I was already so open and also already moving through such a deep process in that period of my life, I was just so open to the healing magic of life, and my body was just like full back bend, like the mudras, crying, screaming, like the most deepest grief processing into the most like effortlessly, the highest high, the most ecstatic bliss. But it was all one thing. It wasn't like now I'm happy, now I'm sad. It was just this like movement of energy all through and all around. And it was making my body do different certain things and laughing and crying and wow. And yeah, by the end, I was like, what the heck was that? And I just tune into the most, like raw, pure, unfiltered, out of mind, in body experience or energy that I've ever experienced, and it's just us. It's just like the Shakti, the mother, the aliveness that makes us do anything and that animates us. And it's like when you yeah take the deepest breath in yet, and you're just like, oh yes. And yeah, and I ended up receiving the I did the facilitator activation like program or training, I guess. And
Mm.
as like a side note, in the training, there was no like initiation process or like a passing of the baton. There was no certificate. It was like, so yeah, tomorrow we're going to invite our friends online and we'll just like offer them a session and that will be it. And then my mind was like, but do we know how to do it? Like, is it going to work? And we need like the permission or like the certification moment or passing of the baton, passing of the light ceremony. She was like, no, 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 you already know how to do this. Like we all do. Oh,
Mm. Mm.
yeah. And that
Mm.
was just like this other like turning of the wheel for me in the way that like when Keith was saying like you already are magic, just like get out
Mm,
of your own way. Get out of
mm,
your own.
mm.
Just yeah, have
Yeah.
the intention, create the container, and let it happen. Let the healing
Yeah.
happen. Let the magic happen. So
Wow.
we did.
That's empowering. Gosh.
So empowering. Yeah. Yeah. And then when it was an online training, it was an online session that we offered at the end to our friends. And I was like, oh my God, is this going to work? And within like 10 minutes, people were like moving and crying and processing and like just, yeah, it's quantum. It's like no space, no time. It's just
Mm,
right
mm.
here, right here, right here, right here. It just reminds me of all those tarot readings that I read or that I listen to on Instagram, and then they always say like you're gonna find this in the right moment, exactly when you need. Trust the timing. If you found this video, it's for you because like it's always now. And
Mm,
it just like when when people have that intention to offer healing now, eternally and timelessly, like that's just what happens. I
mm-hmm.
feel.
Mm-hmm.
Also thought
Yeah.
about this, yeah, with Keith and with the cacao and with the prayer, and also now with these online and in-person activations. It's like healing now, healing now. Let it be so. Let everything that needs to happen. You set the container. We're still like in the paradigm of like time with minutes and hours and like 2 hour workshops or 2 hour ceremonies or sessions, for example. And so, we open the space and transmission flows through and there's like the closing, but then we always say like you have the magic wand, like enjoy. So yeah. So that I feel really excited and lit up about that because yeah, it just reminds me how like all healing is the same and all magic is the same. It's just through it's like which modality or which lens do we want to share it through or
Mm-hmm.
experience it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like different colors of the same spectrum, the same rainbow. It's like all the same. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Amazing. Gosh, it sounds powerful. And it's yeah, I totally hear you on, we're all heading the same place or trying to. And
Yeah.
just got to work with the paths that speak to us the most. It's not like everyone
Yeah.
has to drink cacao or everyone has to have particular kinds of healing modality experiences. It's just we all have our own way and journey. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you seem to be very good at exploring lots of different ways and yeah, and offering so many things as well. Do you often serve cacao before your offerings? Like if someone comes for a massage or something, do you incorporate cacao or is that more like for your dance and
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like if people want it because I drink it a lot. I really love it and if people want it then yeah, I always offer it for most things. With the time it kind of also depends too. Like with some people I'll just tune in and would this be beneficial or would this
mm,
be too much energetically with this, so with the Kundalini activations, for example, I don't offer it with cacao because it is so already like it's very stimulating. It's very
yeah.
activating this transmission. With the Thai massage, it also depends. It depends. It could be almost too much like activity, I think, for someone
Yeah.
maybe that I feel might to ground and chill a bit more.
Mhm.
And with the water massage, I haven't offered it because I feel like that is its own magic as well. But yeah,
Mm,
before I love it so much.
yeah.
Um, it's interesting. The ecstatic dances here that run at Gaia in Sununa, they just stopped serving the cacao beforehand.
Really?
Um,
Mm,
uh-huh, which is also really interesting. Like the price went up a bit here, quite a bit, I mean globally. And then yeah, the owner of the temple there, he said like it's always such a hassle and um it was this interesting energy that I observed. Like it's a hassle and the cups are everywhere and there's spills and it's extra energy, extra time, extra money. And And then at first I was resistant because I was like, oh, but cacao's amazing. It should always be there for everything. Uh, and then and then I played my set. There was like a little bit of a drop in beforehand. There was like kind of a ceremony. Someone was sharing contact dance, and the energies just felt a bit scattered. And then I started tuning in more. I was like, is it the cacao not being there that made it such a like chaotic sort of energy? It just felt very palpable for me. I just felt like not, it wasn't contained. And then I realized it wasn't necessarily about the cacao. It was just like there was no like shared intention or shared like bubble over the space. And I
Ah,
just so much love
yeah.
to share. Yeah, like the prayer moment,
Mm.
there was no remembrance of why we're here doing the thing that we're doing in the first place. It was like, welcome, move your body, breathe, enjoy, and here's the music. And then for me, that just felt like a bit strange. I just love so much to tap in and start each DJ set specifically or each session with like really, really, really slowly and really mindfully and connect with the self, close the eyes, sit on the floor,
Mm.
under the sounds of the nature, the river, the birds, thank the spirits and slowly like move. But
Mm.
yeah, this just wasn't there. And of course, cacao, I think, will amplify and enhance and complement any moment of prayer. But I think ultimately, like, it is about the cacao, but it's also not about the cacao. And I feel like if we just have like the intention to bring in like the spirit, it's like that's the magic I feel. So
Mm.
you just calling in the spirit of cacao without drinking her, there's like an alchemy in that as well. So it's also it reminds me now in this moment of, we think we actually need Keith or Keith's physical incarnation or like being in dialogue with Keith to have these like experiences or these like magical moments or healings, but just like call in the spirit of Keith or call in the great spirit as he would, just like watch what happens from that space. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how the dance unfolds without cacao, but I'm gonna, yeah, every time before my set, yeah, bring more consciousness
Mm.
into, into the offering.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, please do. That's powerful. I also I'm a big fan of setting the space and I'm able to connect in so much more if that's done in any kind of, even if I go on a workshop online, I just appreciate it so much if the person running the workshop just has a moment of pause at the start to be like, okay, we're all here. This is why we're here. Let's tune in. Like it just really helps bring you together and settle the space uh, and settle the energy. And yeah, I would really miss that if it wasn't part of I mean, ecstatic dance is kind of a ceremony, and so you need that grounding at the start, I feel.
Yes. Yeah, and I've witnessed it real time when the grounding is there and when the grounding is not, when it's not there. It's a different experience, different energies. I would say maybe less healing, less transformational, less impactful.
Mm, mm.
More of like a party or just Whew.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, there's a time and place for everything, and that's
Yeah.
beautiful. And um, but if it's all, yeah, again, just bringing back into awareness, like our conscious creatorship and global awakening. I think it's like happening anyway, but it's beautiful to almost like help that process along with the consciousness of why. Like, what are we
Mhm.
doing here?
Mm.
Like, are we in a ceremony? Or are we in a party? Are we in
Mm.
a rave? Or like, what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So you do often share your beautiful music, and I love your music. I've listened to lots of your music on SoundCloud, and you share these beautiful DJ sets. And so usually you would have cacao at the start. Has that been the case?
That's been the case, yeah, since most of my DJing at the lake specifically, like with the Sunday ecstatic dance, just that's been the tradition every Sunday. But then when I tour, like around Europe or Mexico, or there's not always cacao. Sometimes yes,
Mm.
sometimes no. Some people, um, yeah, like to offer this with like no substance. So yeah, one of the pillars of ecstatic dance is no substance. So no alcohol, no drugs, no nothing. But some people like to go with no cacao,
Mm,
which
mm,
yes, it's like anyone can either like respect or abuse cacao. It's like you can overdose on cacao. You can also be, I'm sure, addicted to cacao. Uh you can use it in both respectful and disrespectful ways for yourself, for your body, for your needs, for your path. And
mm,
so it's interesting just to take all of that out of the equation sometimes, out of the equation, to just like experience life and the dance like completely sober. And it's interesting
yeah.
because, yeah, I guess you can use or abuse anything. You can use your or abuse water or food or, I mean, anything that you put into your body. Or, but you can also use or abuse thoughts, different thoughts or thought patterns. So it's this interesting thing that I'm experiencing lately of like, yeah, where's my consciousness at when I'm receiving a substance or receiving water or receiving food or receiving cacao, or do I need this? Do I not need this? Well, am I running away from something? Am I running towards something? Or can I
Mm,
just,
mm.
whoa, experience like raw, unfiltered life right now? Just, you know, yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
that makes me think that, it's beautiful to have these explorations and to not always have cacao there because then there's the risk of it just becoming this thing of like, oh yeah, we drink cacao and then we do this, and it sort of loses its mindfulness and its potency and its intention. And if there always has to be cacao before an event,
Uh-huh.
I think the potency gets lost a little bit. Uh,
Yes.
so yeah, maybe it's good that the Gaia Temple is taking a little break from it just to
Mhm.
maybe there's a reason for that. So it doesn't just become the rule that it always has to be there.
Yeah, I feel that. It was a beautiful process to feel deeper into. Yeah. I mean, it grows, it's everywhere here. People are drinking it one, two, three times a day. So maybe life is calling for just like, let's drink chamomile, you know? But
Yeah, there's a lot of cacao at the lake, right? Like you said, there's what, 15 brands now? Something
at
like that.
least,
Wow.
yeah,
Amazing. And
yeah.
yeah, gosh. Is there anything else you're observing at the moment happening in the world of cacao there, like in terms of, yeah, I don't know, just
Mm.
anything new that's coming in or that you've observed that's maybe healthy or unhealthy?
Haha. Um, I mean, yeah, so besides that, I mean, it's more expensive now, which
Mm,
it's maybe, I think, in a metaphysical level, maybe it's, I mean, I know that there's higher demand. I think some of like the trees have been sick or something I heard.
mm,
Yeah, higher demand, higher price of beans, inflation with everything. Um, so maybe, yeah, maybe this is just a way of life saying, like, yeah, bring the sacredness back. And if like to almost bring the love or the value a bit higher, like the monetary, but also like the spiritual value almost higher to like remember. Um, it's yeah, maybe that's what's happening.
mm,
You know, so if it's more expensive, you drink it less casually, you're more intentional, yeah, you're more ceremonial with it. And yeah, I mean, there's been mornings here where I drink it and I'm like also doing something else at the same time, or I'm talking to a friend, like texting a friend, like doing other things. And then I realized like, oh, I've drank half a cup of cacao already. I didn't like tune in at all. You know, I don't know if you've had that experience. It's very trippy. I'm like, where was I?
mm, mm. Oh
And
yeah,
it's like so
yeah, done that before. Mm.
natural. It's so normalized. It's in my routine. So I'm yeah happy in this moment that we're having this conversation. It's bringing more awareness to it, and um, yeah, I remember a friend even said she also had this experience, and she had made like a whole bottle full of it, and it just was so mindless in it maybe, and not intentional, and then it just like spilled everywhere.
Oh wow. Oh gosh.
Nope. It's like wake up, like, remember what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
this is holy landscape here. Keep it sacred, right? So she like spent an hour cleaning the kitchen. It was everywhere.
Oh no.
Yeah. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yes. Thank you, goddess. Thank you, goddess Cacao. Gracias. Right?
Mm. Yeah,
Mm.
I've had it before where I remember a few years ago having a cacao when I was rushing out the door to go do something that I
Yes.
was maybe a bit nervous about. And I was like, oh, I need cacao to give me energy. And I think I put it in my takeaway cup and I was drinking it while getting ready and then drinking it in the car. And I was in a rush. And then I got a really big headache. And I was
Oh,
like, oh, I didn't tune in at all with the medicine.
uh-huh.
And she's like, nope.
None of this. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Well, there's still so many things I wanted to ask you, but maybe we'll just have to do it again sometime.
Love that.
Or
This has been such a pleasure. I would be happy to. We could do it tomorrow, whenever.
I
Up to you.
wanted to talk to you about Mary Magdalene, but that's a
I
big subject.
know.
So,
That's a,
yeah, because that's a big heart subject too, and but maybe we'll save that for another time because I don't want to just brush over it. It
yes.
needs honoring. Mm.
That was a whole other experience. Also connected to the Kundalini activation, to the rose path, also back to here, also back to magic beyond cacao and with cacao. Yeah, all of that. Episode 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I love witnessing your journey. I'm so glad that you share on Instagram so that I can and so that other people can because yeah, you explore all of these realms so beautifully and it's very generous of you to share with us and I just feel like you're on a really magical journey and the word magical seems to be around you a lot and I've heard other people describe you as magical as well. Like I met
Oh,
friends, beautiful Genevieve, who I haven't talked to in far too long, and Anne.
oh,
And yeah, so Andrew, the also the wizard.
that's the thing. We're all magic. We're all
Mm,
magic. Keith coming through again and again. He's like, wake up, magic one. He would say magic one. Blessings, magic one. Blessings, dear one.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Blessings to you, and thank you so, so much for having the time and the space to do this from the lake, from this amazing portal of so much healing energy, so much awakening, so much cacao.
So much. Yeah.
And yeah, for sharing that with me and with the people listening and sharing your generous heart and your healing gifts and your creativity and your joy and just really honoring you for that process. And I'm grateful that I know you and I didn't even say that I met you partly because you were catering at a retreat, an amazing retreat that I was at, and your food was so good.
Oh,
So
oh,
that's another one of your talents, incredible food. So
oh.
maybe I'll have to link your cookbook in my show notes because I love your cookbook.
Yes. That was a whole project. That was definitely inspired by something greater as well. It took so
Mm,
many years and it finally came out. Yeah, 2022, Cosmic Cooking and Divine Dining. Yes. So beautiful. So fun.
yeah. Amazing. Well, is there anything else? Oh, can I ask you one last question? It
Please.
can be brief or long, but you can keep it brief if you wish. It's the question I love to ask everyone on this podcast is, how do you feel loved by cacao?
How do I feel loved by cacao? Oh, it just feels like unconditional love, like mother's love. Mm, it feels like, yeah, when I drink her and also just when I tune in with her, it feels like almost like, yeah, a best friend or a mother or a grandmother, like loving me all through those moments where I don't feel good enough or don't feel seen or don't feel worthy or feel low or feel like, what's my value? Am I bringing value to this planet or what's the point? She's like, oh, I love you through that. I'll I'll love you anyway. I'm like, oh, bless you. You're being so human. Bless your human. Bless your sacred human. I love you.
Mm.
And then often it's just like, oh, yeah, thank you. I don't need to be the best, or I don't need to be the brightest. I don't need to be the most seen or be the most well known or be the most anything. I don't need to be anything other than just be the being that I am. And
Mm.
like the most, it's like, oh, I'm off the hook. I can just just be.
Mm.
Um, yeah. And she loves me so much by just being so everywhere here. She's like, I often say and feel like it's like such an inner child healing for me as well. With like,
Mm.
of course, I'm gonna drink the most beautiful hot chocolate in the world and like have that specific thing be so present in my everyday life. Of, I remember going to like my brother's hockey games and just getting a hot chocolate, or yeah, just like Halloween nights or Christmas, and it's like, of course, I get to sit with that experience in some way, like that warming, beautiful, like sweet kind, like celebratory being and experience every day. So it's like
Mm.
bringing me back into that often
Mm.
and moving to that place. Like a happy, like happy little Andrew. Like, yes, please enjoy your hobby. Like you could be doing drugs, you'd be addicted to alcohol, but let's just enjoy some hot chocolate tune in.
Mm. Mm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay to be in our innocence and our playfulness and the joy, pure joy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, that's so sweet. Well, thank you so much, my friend. I'm really, really, really grateful for this conversation. It's been really a true joy. I've loved it. I've
Oh,
enjoyed every moment, and I'm
me
grateful that we
too.
finally got to do it.
It was timeless. It's like it was just 2 and something hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Wow.
turned into a portal.
Yes. Now it's like pitch black out there.
And the dogs are barking, it sounds like.
Dogs are going, they're going into a night shift. They're going into protect the streets mode. And thank you
Yeah.
so much for having me and yeah, for being such a wonderful friend. And yeah, it's amazing to witness how cacao and also this lake and just life like weaves us together in mysterious ways. And yeah, I've had so many friends here that I've known for a week or 2 weeks or a month, for example, and we just like still we're like very deeply connected and deeply woven. And yeah, I give great thanks to this lake and to this cacao and to Keith and to the magic and mystery of life. And yeah, thank you for also walking this path in a beautiful way and carrying this medicine in such a beautiful way and offering it and bringing people into yeah, safe spaces for them to also just breathe and be themselves and to have
Mm.
impactful and meaningful connective experiences with themselves, with you, with the people that also feel called to be there and to circle with you. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's such a beautiful gift also to witness your journey and to watch it bloom as well. And yeah, thank you on
Oh,
behalf of
thank you,
life.
Andrew. Oh, I appreciate those words a lot. They mean a lot. Thank you. Hmm.
Amen.
Well, much love,
Love.
and I wish you a beautiful evening. And thank you
Thank
to everybody listening for being with us in this conversation. And maybe just think if there's any one thing that really stood out to you that you can
you.
take into the rest of your day or your evening.
Mm,
And yeah, for me, I think it's gentleness. There's something in this conversation that has been like, there's a calmness, a gentleness that I'm really treasuring right now. So thank you for that.
thank you.
Mm.
Cherishing our, yeah, it's like gentle, calm creation. Mm,
Mm.
just keep hearing like what, yeah, what wants to happen through our vessel, what wants to happen through these hands, what wants to happen through this voice, what wants to be said and shared and created into the tapestry of this life. And yeah, it's reminding me to not push and also to trust. Um, it's like we've been trained to live in a very masculine way, in a very sometimes forceful way, or we initiate things out of maybe impure reasons, or we want to like prove something, or we want to be someone, or we want to create this for some twisted reason sometimes. But the magic I feel like is when we, yeah, start to ask those questions like, what does God, what does Creator, what does Spirit, what does Cacao, what does my soul, my higher self want to share through me? What does it want to speak through me? What does it want to make through these hands? What music does it want to offer this space? What loving touch, like what does it want to offer? Yeah, what projects, what podcasts, what conversations, what modalities does the spirit want to like know itself through these vessels? So
Mm.
I think that's like the divine flow, and that's like where the healing happens, and when the health and the joy and the connection and the like the life that we want to be living in, the frequency that we want to be living in happens more effortlessly when we like, as Keith would say, get ourselves out of the way. Just like, ooh, and then we're down, we're like down this water slide of infinite creation and like playfulness and infinite possibilities as well. We like expand to the point where we can't really identify with those old stories or those old limitations anymore, and we open back up to the vastness and let life happen through us in a beautiful, pleasurable, enjoyable, like fun way. Yeah. So thanks for
Ooh,
doing that as
yes to all of that.
well.
Thank you. That was beautiful. That was a real gift. You just given the beautiful gift. I
No.
feel like that's a beautiful place to end. Hopefully everyone
Mm.
can take that away. Let life flow through us. Get out of our own
Yeah.
way. Amazing. Mm.
No.
Thank you, my friend. So, so much love.
So much love. Have a sweet afternoon. Enjoy your
Yeah.
magical life. We'll
Yes.
do episode 2 later.
Okay. That sounds good. Enjoy your evening and your dinner and much
Thank
love,
you.
and we'll talk soon.
Love.
Mwah. Mwah. Thank you for opening your heart here and listening today. Please subscribe to keep getting episodes in Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. And please share this podcast with your cacao loving friends. You can follow us on Instagram at Loved by Cacao. Please take care of your heart and may you feel loved.